Sometimes the worst things in life are actually the best turn of events for you. It's a detour that you didn't know you needed. If you want to do something or try something, just do it, because you never know what could come from it. And I think we live in a world that there are so many possibilities for you to try to do, and you don't have to follow the norm of what you think life is supposed to look like. I had a gut feeling like I want more out of life. I want to be more creative. I want to create more financial and time freedom. And if you feel a call for more, like, it is for a reason, and please follow it. Whatever it may be, throw darts until something sticks, but just go for it if you're thinking about it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Chats with Clark podcast. I'm your host, Joe Clark, and here at Chats with Clark, we don't do poppy intros. We get straight to the point. And the point of today's episode, episode 69, is Natalie Bell for the second time.
But there's always a lot of talk around if he wanted to, he would. And while I know that there's a lot of nuance to that, it's okay to want somebody who will. Sometimes people don't reject you. They reject the version of themselves they would need to be in order to keep you, to deserve you. Look in the mirror at myself and see where I could be a better partner, where I could be a better human, where I could show up better in the world. Those are the partners for you.
The creative mind behind City Social, a thorough content creator who inspires others on their journeys, the host of retreats across the globe, and an immaculate soul, Natalie Bell. Welcome back to Chats with Clark.
That was so sweet. Thank you for the intro. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have you. My first question, Natalie, is what is the best thing that there is to know about you?
Oh, I don't know if I've ever been asked that question.
Welcome back.
The best thing to know about me. I'm not sure. That's such an interesting question. I think the best thing to know is that I am really passionate about connecting with people, and I think that I do a good job of it in both my day-to-day job as a nurse and then what I get to do in creation with social media and brands and just different people through my business, City Social. I'm really big on connection. So I think that will come through in my content, in our conversation. So I think that's the best thing.
Totally. Yeah. If you know Natalie, and even if you don't, you're going to find out very quickly that Natalie's very great, and it comes seamlessly and just seemingly totally naturally for her and her connection and what she does. So I absolutely can see that.
Thank you. Yeah.
One of your coined sayings is that everything is working out for you. Again, everything is working out for you. Natalie, what does that mean to you?
This has been the beacon of hope for me in so many situations in life, whether it be something that's good going on in my life or something that's not so great going on. I feel like I lean on that saying a lot, because when you're in something that feels like it's seemingly not working out, a lot of times we put up a wall to the situation and think why is this happening to me? What can I be doing differently? I don't want this to happen to me. So I think when you can really focus on this might not feel like the best situation right now. It might not feel like things are working out, but part of things not working out is that it's actually working out in your favor. So when you're when I was really deep in a breakup, I'm okay, this sucks, but I know that this not working out is part of what's planned for my life, and what is coming is going to be better. So I think it has just provided me so much peace and comfort in times when I've really needed it.
Do you think that that's a guarantee? So for someone who's listening that's in this spot of saying, I don't know that this is going to work out for me, how can one be assured that, yeah, it actually is?
I think
how can one even adapt that mindset?
Yeah, I think that there's always not really a guarantee in life, but I think when you can have some kind of fallback comfort piece, or knowing this is all part of my plan for my life. And, when you're in the thick of it, you don't really believe it. Mm-hmm. But the more that you can lean into just saying it and then continuing to just live your life and focus less on what sucks and focus more on like what's coming and the joy in your life, the more you lean into that, the more that saying will like come true. You just have to kind of like believe in it when you can't see it yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm such a believer in the fake it till you make it idea. And I know it's coined and has a lot of perceptions about it, but I think what I like about it is that, to your point, when you say something enough or when you do something enough, even if you're just quote unquote faking it until you make it, the making it is that you do believe it because your mind believes what you tell it eventually.
Totally. And I think, yeah, the more that you can just like say that to yourself before you even believe it, the more it will just come to fruition in your life.
It's so applicable across the board, right? Like if you look at something and say, oh, I know that this is going to work out for me, then is really a bad thing a bad thing? Right. It begs that question.
Well, exactly.
I guess maybe this is just being reframed in a way that actually this could be great for me.
Yeah. Sometimes the worst things in life are actually the best, like, turn of events for you. It's a detour that you didn't know you needed.
Yeah. Love that country song by Jordan Davis. It's called Detours, and that's what he always talks about. He's like, do you know that song?
Yes.
Yes. He's like, oh, thank God for the detours.
Yeah.
It led me to this, that, and the
exactly.
other thing. It's what there's a quote that I heard recently that's been on my mind, and it's that maybe life is difficult because we expected it to be easy.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I love that, and it ties right into this.
Yeah, I agree.
On a perhaps brighter note, Natalie, one of the joys in your life that you alluded to is bringing people together. And your work with City Social particularly is about bringing individuals who are not in a relationship, who are quote unquote single, together and providing an opportunity for them to connect. What is it about that work that you like?
Well, bring it back to connection. I love connecting with people. I love love. I know that's like so cliche and cringe, but I do think that that's like an overall just like reason why I'm here is to love on people and bring people together and connect with people. So I love that it gives me the avenue to do that. And I just love that people are able to meet face to face again and have real conversations and be out of the digital world. You know, you come to my events and you don't see anybody on their phones. And it's such a like breath of fresh air to like walk into a room and be able to see people actually socializing and be off their phones. And so I've loved that part of the business for sure.
How did you know that you would have, or that there was an area, that there was a market for this? Like what inspired the original thought?
So when I was doing life coaching, I don't do it anymore, but when I had a lot of clients complain about the dating world and complain about social media and complain about dating apps and how it's so disingenuous and they wish there was a space where they can meet in person out of like the bar scene, walk into a bar and you don't know who's single. And I think a lot of people are afraid to shoot their shot or go up to people because they don't want to get rejected, which we never want to get rejected. But, that's part of putting yourself out there and trying to date is that you have to like face the fear and like do it anyways. But, I saw that people needed something other than the digital world to be able to connect with people again. And I think post-COVID, people were craving that in-person connection. And so after so many people complained to me, they're like, the app sucked, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, what can I do to solve this issue? I have a platform. I love the city of Cleveland. I love connecting people. I love like events and just meeting new people. So I was like, what if I tried putting on events and brought singles together in real life again off the dating apps? And I hosted my first event over 2 years ago, had like 80 people show up. And I was like, okay, well, clearly there's a need for this. And so second event was over 100 people and we've had events as big as like almost 300. So there's definitely a need and a want for it. So
yeah, just a quick note to our audience. Again, if you're single and thinking, hey, like this seems great for me. Again, City Social, you'll find it on the platforms. We'll have it linked below, but a quick aside there.
Yes.
I feel like it's so interesting because the dating world's ever evolving, right? Like anything that deals with society is always changing. And as I was reflecting before our conversation, I was thinking about the notion of like the swipe left, swipe right idea, right? Like the Tinder idea, I guess, of just the brevity of it. It's so quick, and one of the events that I know you've done is speed dating. So it's almost, to me, I love that reframing of it where you take what could probably be a bad thing, like you're shaping your brain so that it just makes a decision like that. and taking it into a way that's actually diving into a depth in a quick way.
Yes. And I think when you are looking at a screen, it's so much different than looking at a person right in front of you. You feel their energy, you feel, how they talk, what they talk about. And, attraction grows from that part instead of just like a face value on the screen. So yes, it's kind of like in real life Hinge at speed dating, because you are getting to like choose who you want to follow up with or connect with. But it's just a whole different energy when you get to actually feel somebody's presence.
It challenges the brain to actually comprehend a little bit too and compute and like have a little
It's more active instead of just passive swiping.
Totally. So. Yeah, it actually feels like you're doing something. And I think that's the tough part about the dating app idea is that it's hard to remember that this is the person behind the screen, right? Like this isn't just...
It puts the human back in dating.
Totally, which is massive. How then, because of the ever-changing nature of it, does City Social stay relevant?
I think that, dating apps were super relevant and really great during COVID. I think that people leaned into them for connection, for being able to date because we were closed off for so long. And so I think after COVID, it was like the perfect time for me to kind of start the business. And I know that dating world is always ever evolving. So you have to be able to kind of like bend along with the trends and what's popular, what's not. So a lot of my events focused at first on like socializing, and it's actually shifted more in the past like year into more like intentional events like speed dating. I've done matchmaking dinners. So people want it more so for like the dating aspect and like being single and having options, and instead of like the social aspect, because there's so many options now for people to get out and socialize. So I think now it's like, okay, yes, my events have always been about dating, but it's like a more intentional form of dating events now. And I'm open to always like bending my events and figuring out along the way and kind of adapting to the times. So who knows where we'll be in a few years, but I'm willing to just like continue to see where it goes.
Throughout that process, there's so many different parts of it, right? Like you get the event started, you handle the event, you're facilitating it all, making it happen. Then there's kind of that after effect. What part of it's the best for you? And do you have success stories that come at you and be like, hey, we met at whatever City Social Prom 2 years ago, like this is going well, you just proposed, whatever, I don't know. Like how does that fuel that fire?
Well, I definitely have people who have followed up after my events. I know we were talking off camera, but like the like point of my event is to have people stop coming to them. So it's kind of a weird business model, but yeah, I eventually want to stop seeing people at my events. But I've had a lot of success with not only like relationships, but friendships too. A lot of people have connected at my events and have formed friendships, and then they'll come to an event in a different month, and they'll be like, we met at speed dating and us 5 girls now like go out together on, a regular basis. So that's always heartwarming for me because yes, it's a dating event, but it's also just about connection too. And then I'm actually going to a City Social wedding this year.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Congrats. So we do have a few very distinct success stories that have actually reached out to me and been like, we are engaged because we met at one of your events. So that's always like really next level amazing for me because it just like comes full circle and like gives me the reassurance that people do need this and want this. Yes. And it works. So yeah, I have a City Social wedding.
Do you have your speech prepared?
I'm so excited. I'm just going to be like, can I like, I don't know. I'm just so excited. I'm really excited for them. And it's the reason I started. So
yeah, I know you're not in it for you too, but I just think like, and to the audience, I think there's something so validating about seeing other people when your goal is to go in and help, quote unquote, help someone else's life. When you see it actually bettered, or in this case, like when you see the ripple effects of it, you're like, oh my gosh, like this started with something that I believed in. And I believed in these people inherently through that. Yeah. And now it's manifested into this gorgeous opportunity of their life. That's so cool. Yeah, it definitely is rewarding and fills my cup up. Like one of my best friends, she's dating somebody that she met at speed dating. They've been dating a year. So in my eyes, that's success. Whether, whether the connections work out or not with the people that are at my events, like at least it is getting them to connect in person again. And who knows, like if a connection leads to an engagement, marriage down the line. So
I feel like no matter what, if people are connecting, it's a success for me.
Absolutely. You're being that needle mover.
Yeah.
Which is, it's great. And everything's working out for you.
Everything's working out for us,
so
always.
Even if it doesn't end up in that engagement piece. Natalie, if you were to kind of summarize, why should someone come to your events? What is the goal of each event?
The goal is just to connect in person and to be able to really feel the energy of somebody in real life. I know, a lot of people connect via dating apps, but a lot of men, particularly, I'm going to call you guys out, don't have the best profiles. And it's like giving somebody who might not have a good chance on a dating app have a better chance in person of actually connecting with people like off the screen. And, this goes for women too, but, dating apps are so superficial. And if you don't have good pictures and a funny profile or like some kind of like hook statement, I mean, you're going to be overlooked is what I have gathered from just talking to different singles. And so it gives people opportunities that they might not have otherwise to connect with people and just be able to not rely on their profiles to really like sell who they are, because this is just such like a small snippet of who they are. And so when you get to actually have a conversation in person, it just like really elevates things and gives them a proper chance in my eyes.
Absolutely, it does. You actually get to feel the energy too, which is
totally
nice. Like I think the energy that we give off on social media is a lot different than the energy we give off in person.
Yeah, I think it can be for sure.
Part of it. So would you say anyone who's single looking for connection should check it out? Like that's,
I mean, obviously,
yeah.
Come to a city social event.
Yeah, this is not difficult stuff. I didn't want to beat a dead horse with it, but I was like, okay, if we were to like totally boil this down, it's like if someone that is single and desiring connection, like this is your chance.
Yeah,
like, go for it.
Yeah, I think that it just provides a different avenue for you if you're sick of the dating apps and you're not having success and you just want to like have good conversation and meet new people. I think it's a great opportunity for you to do that.
We've kind of been singing your praises, Natalie, which are totally well-deserved. On the flip side, though, as with any business, you're open to criticism. There's criticism that's going to come your way and negativity that's going to arise. How do you navigate through that?
I think that you always have to stay professional and respectful. I think it's easy to take things personally when you run a business, and I have so much of my heart in my business. But a lot of times these people are uncomfortable, maybe nervous, scared. And so they're always coming from a place, I think, of that instead of like trying to attack my business. People and personalities, you're going to have that in any business, but especially with mine when it's such a social gathering, you're going to have a lot of different people. And if people are unhappy, then they are entitled to use their voice and explain that to me. And I always meet them with like grace and understanding and trying to, come from a place of wanting to understand them and their point of view. But, I will stand up for my business and my mission in these events is always to bring people together, and it's always like shaped out of love. So I always fall back on that. And, most of the time people understand and they're like willing to hear me out. But yeah, there's definitely been some not so nice words exchanged and, spoken about a certain experience somebody might have had at an event. And unfortunately, I can't control everything, but I can try my best to provide the best experience for everybody. So
you're bringing people together. Once they're there, their behavior is indicative of them, not indicative of you, which is tough. It's tough to represent everyone else's behavior, right? Like that's a tough umbrella to be holding. So I could see that being a little bit difficult. How do you pilfer through something that's maybe constructive and more goal-oriented as far as criticism goes and someone who's just kind of ripping you a new one?
I think that I have to take feedback with a grain of salt, but also think like, why are they saying this? Is there something that I could tweak? Or if there's a part of the process that I could improve on? I think you kind of have to see it through the lens of they're trying to maybe help or give constructive feedback as opposed to just like you suck, your events suck, So I feel like you have to take it as like constructive first. And then, if they come back and kind of double down, then try not to take it personally and think maybe they're just having a bad day or had a bad experience with dating in the past. And, I can only do so much as the person who is hosting the event. And a lot of it does fall on the attendee and how they interact with people and their openness and where they're at in their life. But, I can't hold everybody's hand and say, hey, Joe, come and meet Amber and, introduce. I can't do that with every single person at the event. So a lot of it does fall on the attendee to have the responsibility of like, you signed up for this. This is what a dating event is. I want you to meet people, but I can't like be the one to always handhold. So yeah, I think it's taking it with a grain of salt, but also be open to feedback and changing maybe the way that I do things or adding in this, taking away this. So constantly evolving and thinking about what could be improved upon.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to approach anything when people are giving you feedback, even if it's harsh. You're like, okay, I'm going to discard all the parts that are just personal attacks. And it's like, what is the root of this, right? Exactly. Like if you could really break it down into the crux of what they're trying to say and take out all the gross parts of it, then you can actually get somewhere.
I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so mean.
Yeah, that's not going to help anybody. It's like, I throughout your stories though, I kind of think, and given that it's in person, I know we all know how awkward people can be in talking. This is kind of an unfair question, but what do you think, what would be your recommendation to someone who, I take this back as not an unfair question. Please cut that, David. What would be your recommendation to someone who is trying to develop just confidence, like needs the confidence to, okay, I'm going to come to the event, but I'm a fly on the wall? Yeah,
I think that I've said this about confidence a lot, but confidence comes from feeling the fear and doing it anyways. So it's like exposure therapy. You have to just put yourself in uncomfortable situations in order to get more comfortable with them. So I have seen many people who have come to, multiple events, and I have seen such a progression of how they started at their first event to now. It's like you are a totally different human, being able to converse with people, going up to people first, initiating conversation. And so that's proof that like the more you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, the more you can grow from it. But I think people have to be willing to do that.
You just have to do it.
Yeah, you have to be willing to do it and just feel the fear, do it anyways, and watch what can happen from it, because you never know who you're going to meet and how things are going to transpire. But yeah, I think you just have to kind of like put yourself in those situations and try your best.
The other part of it too, Natalie, just to kind of build off of that, is most people don't remember this stuff after anyway, right? Like the minuscule interactions that we have, I say minuscule, but just brief interactions that we have with people, they're not that lasting, right? Like it's not the end all be all for someone.
Right.
You're not ruining your life if it doesn't go well.
I think that we get so in our heads though, totally. like we had an awkward interaction, you think about it for days after. It's like that person probably is not thinking twice about it. But that's part of like anxiety and social skills and things like that. So, but I do understand sometimes that can feel like a weight on you, but that's why it's like the more you do it, the better you'll get. So.
What weighs on your heart, Natalie, as you think about City Social and its end game? What is the end game?
I mean, I would love to leave my position as a nurse and make City Social my full-time thing. And I think I want to expand to as many cities as I can. So right now we are in Cleveland, Chicago, Boston, Grand Rapids, Columbus, and Denver.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's really great. It's a lot of work, but I love it. And I just want to keep expanding because I think that people still are craving that in-person events. So I'm going to ride the wave as long as I can. And, eventually would love to see it in like every city. Sure. But it's going to take some time. But yeah, I would love to keep on growing it.
As long as there's single people that, right?
Exactly.
That's a good start.
Yep.
I want to shift a little bit into the creativity realm. So you're someone that creates about content. You say you love to talk about love a lot.
Yeah, I do.
My bio. Why is that your shtick, if you will?
I feel like I've always been such a lover girl at heart. And then how I got started in content and involved a bad breakup. And so I feel like my content has constantly evolved, but revolved around that main topic. Mm-hmm. And so I've used social media as like my personal safe haven and my personal journal. I don't journal physically, but I like to talk things out. It's how I like really process emotions, and I'm able to get through hard times and good times. But I just love talking about love, relationships, dating, what's worked for me, what's not, what I've learned, all that good stuff. So, and I feel like that's what people like to hear, at least my audience. So, and it goes back to the connection piece I started with. It's just, it gives me an opportunity to connect with people. And I feel like that's such a big purpose of why I'm here. So
from the content creation space too, it makes so much sense to talk about something that everyone desires, right? Like your audience is now massive and you have a following from all walks of life and from men, women, everyone. So it's something that is pertinent to everybody too. Right. So when you're coming from a place of that authenticity and like, hey, I went through this is what I've taken from it. Yeah. That's amazing. I was curious, Natalie, how do you separate Natalie Bell, the creator, and Natalie Bell, just you as a person?
I don't really separate them. I think that what you see on the internet is pretty much me. Like I said, it's my thoughts and what I'm going through. So if you talk to like one of my best friends and she sees a video that I posted, she'll be like, I know exactly what you're talking about because she talks to me about it all the time. So I think, I try to separate as far as like my show up in real life, as far as like being present. I do try to separate that just because I like to be present with the people that I'm with. But, I'm not constantly on my phone when I'm with people, as opposed to like what you see on the internet is like me being on, camera. But I do like to still have present moments with my family and my friends. And, I'll get to a restaurant and I'll like take a few photos, a few videos, and then my phone is down for the rest of the night. I like to really enjoy that, who I'm with. But I don't really separate it. I feel like, and that's what's been really easy for me to like seamlessly continue for it to be a part of my life, is just have it be cohesively me.
Do you find on the flip side that people think they know you maybe more than they do?
I think that it can give people the illusion of knowing me and being close to me. But I do think that that's part of what makes my content very like genuine and real, is that I do love connecting with people, and I, answer DMs and I respond to comments when I can. And so I do love getting like DMs like, hey, I would love your advice on this. And, thank you for posting this. I love that part of it. But, I do keep some of my life still private and choose to share certain things when I want to share them. But yeah, I think it can give people this like false sense of being closer to me than they are. But if that's like what gets them through a hard time, then, it is what it is. But yeah, I definitely have a small circle, but it is what it is. I think that comes with the territory.
It's like you're like the Taylor Swift of like the dating world. Like for these exes don't stand a chance. You're just ending up on net. It's unlike, Taylor writes the song, Natalie posts the video. It's just that's so great. That's so accurate. It's just part of it. Yeah. I love just a quick note I wanted to make too. I love the being present idea, but I love too that you're admitting and very forthcoming about like, hey, when I get to the restaurant, I'm taking a couple pictures, a couple videos. Like from the journaling standpoint, I use an app called 1 Second Every Day that the audience has heard about a million times, but I record a second of my life every day. I use a second and a half. And at the end of the year, you get to measure, you get to see what you did in a 9-minute video.
That's so fun.
Yeah, so cool. You would love it. I can send it to you. But it's a great way to keepsake it too. And I think people who are like us that like to journal, like to be reflective on things, maybe dabble with that of like, I want to be present and I really shouldn't have my phone up, but I like capturing this thing too. So you could be like, you can have both. It is not an opposite dichotomy. You can have both.
Yeah. And I think that the more forthcoming you are and about content, like if I am going out with a friend and I have to film something, I am very honest with her and say like, hey, just so you know, I have to film this. And then if you help me with that, then I'm yours the rest of the night. I think then when you could be honest about what you're doing, the less it will feel like awkward and weird if I'm like recording the whole time that we're sitting at like a dinner. I think you have to be honest and say, hey, and most of my, the people that I go out with and hang with, they kind of know that sometimes I will need to be doing that stuff. And I think the more you can be honest and just say upfront, like, hey, I have to take these few videos if you're willing to like do that for me. And of course, everybody usually is. But I think when you can be honest and say like, this is where I'm at today with content, and they're usually a pretty understanding. But I think that you can communicate that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And as far as content goes, I feel like the world is becoming more secular and maybe less worried about having a family based upon statistics. that kind of thing. So how are you finding that your content is received by, or within that framework, right? Like, I think that framework is putting your content in a restraint.
Can you explain that a little bit more?
Sure. So you found a niche, I suppose, that is working in the sense that you have an audience that's reaching out to you. You have people that are coming to you and saying, hey, like, this has really helped me through this. I would imagine on the flip side of that too, there's an audience out there that's saying this is too much for me. This is kind of not something that I value. Does that come your way at all?
I think that the majority of my followers kind of know what to expect from me now. And, I am still wanting to grow and am growing in the creator space. But I do think that, I still get unfollows all the time. So, if it doesn't apply to someone's life anymore, then I don't take things personally if you don't want to follow my stuff or engage with it. But, my content is geared towards a loving, healthy relationship. And I do think, people are getting married later in life. They're not focusing on romantic love as much. So maybe they're shifting away from prioritizing it as much. So maybe my content doesn't apply to them as much, but I do think that there's still hundreds and thousands of people who connect and want it. So I do think, definitely.
That was where I was going with it. Cause I actually don't think that this is necessarily true. I know the numbers say one thing, but I actually think it's probably reversing. I actually think more that people value it more than just like the numbers say.
Totally.
Make sure people aren't having families. There's a lot of reasons for that go into it. And I think that your content is actually proof of that argument, that people are looking for this, that people need the guidance, right? And so that was kind of more so what I was curious, just given the framework as it sits right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that people still want romantic love and crave it. And, that's what I think existence is about, finding a partner and creating this beautiful family unit. And, I still believe in the traditional way of life, but, our world has shifted and it is consistently shifting. So I think if people don't want to follow that kind of content, they don't have to, but I think enough people do. So
yeah. You love love, so you're putting it out there. It works.
I think a lot of people love love. So
yeah. Throughout that time in content creation, Natalie, you've been able to collaborate with a lot of great individuals. Who stands out to you and why?
Oh, I mean, you obviously.
Thanks, Natalie.
I've worked with some really amazing brands. I love working with Cleveland creators and Cleveland businesses. So I've worked with Fountain Leather. We were talking about how amazing Jackie is. And they've been just such an amazing company to work with and partner with. And I feel so genuinely obsessed with their stuff. So it's easy for me to promote certain med spas and, facial spots that I go to around the area. It's been really fun creating content for them and just being a part of their business. So I'll shout out the Well in Westlake and the Indie Med Spa that just opened downtown. They've been so fun to work with in the past, and stuff that I would do myself. I would go get a facial. And so I think when you can seamlessly put their business into your content, it just seems more genuine and not so much forced as an ad, hey, come here, do this, buy this stuff. I think when you can genuinely connect with them as a brand and a business, the more it will just come across the screen as being more genuine.
Yeah, you're living your life then.
Yeah, it's just part of my lifestyle.
I think it's one of the coolest parts of content creation is getting to collaborate.
Yeah, absolutely.
People do it in many businesses, but especially in content creation and when you're being social, I guess. I mean, that's what the crux of it is working with other people.
Definitely. So, back to connection. I just love connecting with people, businesses, brands. So
in a similar vein, I think we also draw inspirations from people too. And really it's throughout life, even more than we even realize. I think from a young age all the way up until our last breath, we're drawing inspiration from the people around us to some capacity. Who in your life, whether you know them or not, has inspired you, and what have you taken from them?
Ooh, I would say, as far as my framework for just my mindset, a lot of the beliefs that I have about love come from my parents. I know this is so cliche, but my parents have displayed always such an incredibly healthy passionate, patient, loving relationship. And so my mindset and thought process and perspective has been shaped for 33 years now based on like what they've been an example of. And so I feel so incredibly lucky to have grown up with them as like the leaders of my family. And so a lot of my inspiration comes from what they've instilled in me and lessons that I've learned from them. And, you know, it hasn't always been like rainbows and butterflies, and they've shown me like how to reconnect. And so I think when I think about like my content, at the back of my mind is always like the beliefs that I have that have been instilled by them. So, I mean, they're always going to be my number one inspiration. Yeah.
It's so special. It's a great little snippet of the beautiful life that they've dove into together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that you all get to live as a part of it, all you Bells. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's cliche either, because increasingly there's not a lot of, I actually think that's a big part. Like, I don't think there's a lot of great romantic relationship models or models of romantic relationships that people can see and then try and emulate. I think there's a lot that aren't in that spot and that have obvious problems. I know all relationships have problems, is not what I'm saying, right. But like somewhere like this is actually like a big problem.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers don't lie. The divorce rates are up, and you know, there's just less people who stay together for long periods of time. And so my parents have been married, 35 plus years now. So, you know, they're doing something right. And to see the way that they've raised me and my three brothers, it's, you know, they're loving men as well. And so I just think that they have done a great job.
Yeah, it sounds like
obviously I'm biased, but yeah.
No, shout out to them. The proof's in the pudding. To our audience too, just like a quick note, I think having role models is so important, and having, if you want something, it makes sense to go and find people that are doing it. And so even from like the romantic relationship, it's like, who in your life, who in my life can I find that epitomizes this? Like, this is something that I want, right? And and surround yourself with that. And what can I take from it? Ask questions. Natalie, we're doing something different today. I polled some people in my life. I asked them to give basically some hot takes that they had about dating, dating culture, like this, your world, Natalie.
Yeah, love. Okay.
And so my ask of you is that you hit me with the classic, is this an overrated idea or an underrated idea? And then a brief why.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, we have 5, but I'm going to give you a 6th too. So we have 6. All right, and I took the 5 that kept recurring the most. First one, getting drinks as a first date.
Yeah, yes. What's
overrated or underrated?
I feel like
or
it's
properly
like
rated, I suppose.
Properly rated.
You're good with it.
I think you don't want to start off too strong with the dinner. And, you know, I'm all about coffee dates too. So if you're not a drinker, maybe like get coffee. But I think it's like the perfect amount of time to see if you are interested in somebody and you're not stuck having to eat a meal with them.
That's true. Okay.
If you don't like them.
That's a great point. Second one. Traveling together early on in a relationship.
Ooh, I would say underrated. I think that there's so much that you can learn about somebody when you travel with them.
So true.
And the earlier you do that, probably the better. I would say like be obviously an exclusive relationship before you travel with them. I think that that's probably best. Maybe like a few months in and just maybe see how it goes. But yeah, I would say earlier the better. Just don't wait like 2 years to travel with somebody and then be like, they suck.
yeah, we're ending the vacation early. This is not a vacation. This is torture.
We're breaking up.
Red flags aren't always deal breakers.
Underrated. I think I would agree with that. Red flags, I feel like, are cause to pause and see, like, is this a red flag, a deal breaker? And I think there's this fine line between like red flag equals no and like, okay, this is a red flag and we can work through this. So I think it depends on the red flag, but I don't think every red flag is a deal breaker.
I got spot on. If you treat it all like an absolute, you're in trouble. We all have our own red flags in our own ways, right?
For sure.
So, all right, 4th one, living together while dating.
I think that in today's world, in today's society, like living together with your partner is very normalized. I grew up in a very traditional family. So like my parents have always been like, no living together until you're married. And obviously like that's not going to happen for me. But I do think that there should be a lot that happens before you move in together. So, have talks about the future. You've been together for, a significant amount of time. I would say like at least like 8 months plus. And I think the older you are, maybe the less time you need to kind of like figure things out with somebody and see if they're like somebody that you want to invest time and energy into. But yeah, I think that nowadays it is important to live together and to see how you work in the dynamic. And so I would say, yeah, underrated or perfectly rated. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's tough, right? I mean, there's also the stories of like, this person's lived with every girl who's ever dated or whatever.
Well,
it's
right.
like, well, something's off with that. So yeah. I think there's a lot to that one. I think it's a tough one.
That's a loaded one.
Yeah. I was like, good luck. I'm glad you're answering. Fifth, not the final, but fifth, when do you kiss for the first time? There's that whole cliche about like,
you have to kiss on the first date.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, at my age, let's just like see if is there chemistry? I don't know. Kiss me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're pro kiss. So kissing on the first date.
Yeah.
Underrated.
I think that you kind of, I mean, teach their own. You don't have to, but I personally, if I'm into somebody, I think I want to kiss you on the first date, but it's also like if a man doesn't, it's not a deal breaker for me. I feel like it would be like, oh, okay, well, like maybe next date, so.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think, I don't think it's a necessity, but I think that's how you kind of like seal a deal of knowing if you are interested in somebody.
There's definitely like an innate, like everyone's thinking it at some point. You're like, oh, is this it? Is this not it?
Yeah. And I think people put a lot of pressure on themselves. I think men especially, because they're like, oh, I should probably be the one to initiate. But I don't think that if they don't, I don't think that that's like it should be like a red flag for a girl to be like, oh, he's not into me, or, I don't feel the chemistry. I think that you need to give somebody like, if you're feeling it enough, I think you need to give somebody at least like 3 dates to really like figure it out if you like them or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that even answered the question, but
no, totally did. Yeah.
Kiss on the first date. Let's do it.
Just get it over with. Let it go.
Just a kiss.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a second date. I'm just. All right, the sixth one that I'm adding, it kind of dawned on me. I should have had this one in there. The grass is greener.
Oh, that's overrated. I think the grass is green where you've heard this before, where you water it, and like there's always going to be something better out there. Like we have endless options at our fingertips, but I think that when you find somebody who is aligned on values, is attracted to you and you're attracted to them, and they want the same things out of life, you're very aligned, I think that you have to focus on that connection. There's always going to be someone better looking, who makes more money, has more access to things. It's like, but then you're going to be consistently starting over with somebody new. And it's like, if you are somebody who wants to build a life with somebody, you eventually have to choose them and say like, this is who I want to spend my life with, and not focus on the grass on the neighbor's lawn anymore.
It's a big one now that we all have, right? Because the reality is, in a lot of our other endeavors, the grass might be greener, go for it. But then it's like when you talk about relationships with people, it's like, I don't know about that. It depends. There's so many. It's a tough one.
Yeah. And I think
overrated from Natalie Bell.
Yeah. I think if you focus on always having greener grass, then you're just going to miss out on like what's right in front of you. And you can build something really special with somebody if you choose to. But if you're constantly chasing the next best thing, you're going to end up unhappy, and to like 45, 50 and still single when you want to like have a family. So I think that you gotta pick somebody eventually and choose them and build something with them.
The fun part is finding out how to water the grass.
Yeah, that is the fun part. Cool part. It's fun. It's like, hey,
how can we?
Yeah, you got to find somebody willing to water with you though.
That's so good. Natalie, those are all of them.
Okay.
But if you had to break down all of your content into one succinct overview, your kind of push to someone who's looking for love, who should check out your content, who might be in this audience, how would you summarize?
Summarize my content? Ooh. Like an overarching theme?
Give me if you had to give a one sentence summary to someone who is looking for love based upon your content.
I would go back to my original quote. So that everything is working out for us, even when it feels like it's not. Always is. Especially when it feels like it's not. That's when it really is. And you got to lean into that. Because that's going to be the part of your life that's so rich in lessons and just when you really figure out who you are, what you want, and it gives you an opportunity just to grow and learn from it. So just know everything's working out, and a lot of my content is focused on when things aren't working out and how you can shift the framework and shift the perspective and your thought process and think okay, this is part of it working out. And that's what Natalie's talking about. So
it comes full circle.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you answered it that way because it really does. It is all encapsulating, right? All that we're doing in life is working out for us, and love being the one that you're focused on. But of course, anything across the board, like when the job doesn't work out, when the whatever, the car breaks down, it's all right, we gotta figure this out. Let's reframe it.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be, you can go endless examples.
Yeah.
Natalie, you are familiar with this from the first time around, but we do have a closing litany here at Chats with Clark too. Okay. The first question has to deal with gratitude. I think that people who live gratefully have a better life than those who do not, who act on that have better lives than those who choose to ignore it. No pressure. What role does gratitude play in your life?
I think it definitely, is an overarching theme in my life. Going back to the quote, everything happening is all part of a greater plan, and my life is so beautiful and amazing, and I get to connect with so many people, and there's so many things that I wish wouldn't have happened but now realize they needed to happen. And so maybe you're not grateful in the moment, but in hindsight, I'm grateful for things I had to go through in order to get here. So I think you could be grateful for the good times and the bad times because it all led you to where you're supposed to be. And so I think that's where a lot of gratitude comes into my life, is being grateful for the bad times because they led me here, and being grateful for the good times because they also led me here. And so I think when you can live with that mentality, the more you can lean into that saying and just know that everything's working out and it will continue to work out. You just have to be grateful for what you're going through because it's leading you to where you need to be. Spot on.
Yeah. One of the philosophers that I love listening to always says something to that effect. He's if you can appreciate the bad times, imagine what you can do with the good times.
Yeah.
It's true. That. On the flip side, we all have difficult times in our lives. What regrets do you have, and what have they taught you?
I don't.
Or do you have?
Yeah, I don't really have regrets. I think that, do I wish that things were different sometimes? But do I wish I wouldn't have had to go through the difficult breakups? Yes, but I understand that there's a part of my journey and they happen for a reason. And so, I wish. Looking back, I'm oh, I wish I wouldn't have stayed with that person for so long. I should have broken that off sooner. But it's that then I maybe wouldn't have learned the things that I needed to learn in order to now moving forward have more of awareness around certain things in relationships. And, you just have to kind of take that as this needed to happen in order for me to evolve from it. And so I don't live with regrets per se, but there are certain things that I'm dang, I wish I would have learned that quicker or come to that realization sooner. But then I, on the flip side, think I needed that for some reason, and it's all led me here. So yeah, it's hard because I feel I'm kind of, I don't do crazy things. I don't I'm not I regret that. That crazy night I got this tattoo, and I don't do crazy things. Yeah. So it's not I would have regret about actions per se, crazy actions, but yeah, there's certain things I wish I would have learned sooner, but it is what it is. We all take time, sometimes too long, to recognize that the stove is hot and it's burning us, kind of thing. It's part of it.
Natalie, I really think that, like you, life is great because of the people that are in it and because of what we get to do with it. What's on your calendar that you're looking forward to?
Oh, I have an amazing trip to Bali coming up.
Let's go.
And I have 15
World Retreat that we talked about, by the way.
15 people signed up to come with me.
So excited for you.
So I am really looking forward to that. I've done a trip to Greece and a trip to Costa Rica, and they've been some of the best experiences of my life, just being able to have one-on-one time with people that have connected with my content, because a lot of the people that come on these trips are from social media. And so it's like, wow, you took a chance to come on a trip with me because you connected with my content, or, want to have a fun trip with a group of people. So I'm really looking forward to that and connecting with people in a beautiful place.
Bali. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, it's been on my list for like ever. So, the fact that I get to go and go with a group, it's going to be a blast. So definitely that.
I love that. It's going to be tremendous.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm so excited.
Natalie, I have another question that you were the second person to receive this that's been added to the litany. So I need to read it.
Okay.
Every night when you lay down to go to bed, what is it that you hoped that you brought to the world that day?
Love.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought you didn't love the question. I was like, oh, sweet.
No,
thanks.
love.
I'm so worried about myself. My God.
I just hope that I hope people feel loved around me and by me. So I think that is conveyed in many ways in the way that I live my life and my business and my friendships and family. And yeah, I think that's just an overarching theme for me.
A beacon of positivity. Mm-hmm. Totally. I mean, it'd be so ironic if you're putting all this great content out there and then you just stunk as a person.
Like, what if I just like, she sucks.
She's horrible. Yeah.
She's mean. She just makes me feel like crap.
Yeah. The love has nothing to do with anyone else. It has everything to do with her. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
No, it makes so much sense. It's so good. And I think that shows just through all of your goals and the businesses that you have and who you are as a person, the way you treat people and the way that you connect others. Like, for someone to take the time of their own life and to commit that to making other people's lives better and to bring people together, that speaks so many volumes. So
thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Our final question is kind of open-ended to you. Do you have any thoughts, any advice, maybe a monologue that you want to give to a specific portion of the audience or just the audience abroad?
I would say, this is coming to my mind, but City Social was such a big gamble for me. And I feel like I've put so much time and effort and money and love into my business, but it has brought me so much more than I've given it. So it's like, for me, the thing that's coming to my mind is, if you want to do something or try something, just do it, because you never know what could come from it. And I think we live in a world that there are so many possibilities for you to try to do. And, you don't have to follow the norm of what you think life is supposed to look like. For me, I was a nurse and I thought I was going to be a nurse the rest of my life. But I knew that I was like, I had a gut feeling like I want more out of life. I want to be more creative. I want to create more financial and time freedom. And I just feel called to more. So if you feel a call for more, like, it is for a reason, and please follow it, whatever it may be. Throw darts until something sticks. But like, if you feel like you're meant for more, you want to try something new and you feel stuck in your job, like, there's so many things you could try, and just do it, because you never know what could happen. It could provide so much more like happiness and fulfillment and joy. So just go for it if you're thinking about it.
No, it was profound. Thank you. I want to add to it. Natalie's avenue came through like the business endeavor, again, rooted in other people, but a business endeavor too. I also think that it doesn't have to come about through that way. It can come about through like a hobby, right? Mm-hmm. Or something that you're like, man, like, I need to shake it up. Like, I want more. It doesn't mean you have to like totally uproot, right? Like, again, Natalie hasn't totally uprooted. It's just, but what she picked on was the business. Like, for me, I love this podcast. I love having conversations with people that are meaningful, and that I hope that, again, the audience takes something as like, wow, I can learn from this person's mindset and implement that in my own life. That's really profound to me. And I'm grateful that people are willing to come on and chat with me and listen. So whatever it is for you, like Natalie said, throw darts at the board until something sticks, until something hits that bullseye, and you will see the rewards amplified.
Yeah. And it could be in addition to the life that you're currently living. Like, I'm still a nurse and I still work 3 days a week, and I now get to do City Social in my free time, and it could be like my second job, but it doesn't feel like a job for me because I love it.
Right.
And so it could be an addition to your life. It doesn't have to replace what you're currently doing, but it could bring you so much more joy. So
absolutely, it's compounding, and we all have so much that make us up, and tapping into more of that, I think, is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because like jobs, for example, use certain set of skills that we have, but they're not everything. There's so much more. Like, I mean, you as a nurse, creativity, I don't know how much, there's certain protocols you have to follow as a nurse. I don't know. Just thinking. Yeah. So like you can't be too creative with what you're doing from the healthcare standpoint. So to see that come to light in a different realm is great. Like, imagine if that weren't the case. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, get like a total like creative outlet, Nursing is very structured, and we were talking about the white uniform and how there's not much leeway for anything else, but content creation and social media and then City Social give me so much freedom to create, and it's just the fun part. So I don't think of it as like a job. I just think of it as a creative outlet. So, which happens to make me some supplemental income. So
imagine what happens when you do something well, right? That's what happens. It's all of Natalie's creative outlets that happen to maybe sometimes bring her. No, I'm just kidding. All of Natalie's creative outlets will be in the description below. You could check out the City Social. You could check out Natalie Bell's personal content that is now on Chats with Clark for the second time. So I can't thank you enough, Natalie. This was wonderful, and I look forward to a third time when it's the country social and it's all over.
Love it.
But you have tuned into another episode of Chats with Clark. If you have not hit the subscribe button, I stand by. I don't know what you're waiting for. This was episode 69 of Chats with Clark. I'm your host, Joe Clark. Check out all the links in the description below. Signing off. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.